live on the YouTube. Do you have me on the Facebook? What? All right, I'll see. I got one of my favorite shirts on today. What do you think about this shirt? Do you like it? Do you like the color? Do you? Well, thank you very much. I like this shirt. I laid out by the pool all weekend. My wife is the one that picked this shirt out, so I'm very excited. My wife is on here. She'll be in here in just a moment. Thank you for getting on here. As always, like, comment, and share the stream. 60 seconds of gratitude. Let me tell you what I'm thankful for. What is that?
So it's a chunky strawberry bowl.
Where'd you get that?
Jamba Juice. Have you ever
Jamba.
had it?
Nope. I don't go to Jamba. I go to Burrow Bowls or whatever on the square. Those are good. I get the same thing every single time. But let me tell you what I'm extremely thankful for this morning, Shannon Wheeler.
What's that?
Yesterday, I grilled out hamburgers. And my wife usually will not eat my hamburgers. She'll take a bite and say it was good, and then it's very healthy. Yes, she's very in moderation. So she may take a bite or two out of the burger, and then she's full.
Okay.
And throw in the trash. And then maybe she'll go eat something else. But what I'm saying is normally my burgers aren't cooked well. They're burnt on the outside and they're red in the middle.
Okay.
Common problem. I'm starting to figure out how to cook on this green egg. Cecilia, how are you? I get on this green egg and I'm starting to figure it out, okay? I don't know how to cook on the other grills, but the green egg is a lot easier for me because I can control those flames. I can just shut it down and suffocate it and the flame goes away. So whenever I cook, I got my phone out the whole time and I cook by minutes. Some people can cook how it feels. They just know that's done. I don't know how to do that. I've got to look at the timer. And then I flip and I'm like, it's done. It's a risk every time. Every single time. But this particular time, I was moving the burgers around. Had about 4 beers out there. And I would put the beers in the freezer. And I was grilling with a cold beer. And I'm telling you, it was fantastic. My wife even said they were delightful burgers. So
now what happened when she took it? Did she get a whole face full of it? She get it all over?
This time she dug right in and said, "This is awesome." We don't hear that very often with my cooking over there. Remy, good morning. Thank you for getting on here. Amanda, hello everyone. Thank you for getting on here. Again, if you're on here, like, comment, share the love for me. What I'm talking about. How did you title the show this morning, Van? Where momentum goes, success flows. Wendy Sweeney from Destin, Florida. Hey, I saw you sold something this morning. We're still gonna buy something. We're still gonna buy something down there, friend. We might have to wait a year, but we're gonna do it. So, I'm gonna take you back when I tell a story about how powerful understanding momentum is. And have you ever moved something that's like really, really heavy? Have you ever moved something that's really, really hard? Have you ever tried that? Whenever you first do it, the hardest few inches is the first few inches. Have you ever noticed that? One, life and success, whether it's diet, whether it's money, whether it's your job, this first little burst, this first little thrust is the hardest thing. But where I have seen so many people lose track of what they're trying to accomplish is they do not understand how powerful the first little inch is. Like the first little movement. Do you understand what I'm saying, Josh? What are you thinking about over there?
It's like a hill, like a very tiny hill.
Well, it could be whatever scenario you can think in your mind. But here's what I would tell you: you gotta force yourself to find ways to grow momentum. So I don't get excited unless like whatever I'm trying to accomplish comes in big chunks. Like if I want to go on a diet, I don't get excited about losing a pound or two. I get excited about the end goal. And if I can hit the end goal quickly, Andre, we'll see you shortly. If I don't hit that goal immediately, I'm much more likely to lose interest, or I'm much more likely to give up. I don't understand. I don't have a way of comprehending and understanding how important the commitment to just the slow growth is. Well, I have found your life changes in little bitty bits at a time. You improve a little bit here, and then you improve a little bit there, and then you continue this compound improvement, and you look back over a year, and then those little bitty micro improvements over 365 days. It's like, holy cow! I gotta watch my language. Can I say offensive language in here this morning?
Yes, she's fine.
Are you sure? Shannon, the thought is the first thing. Everything begins with a thought, doesn't it?
Thoughts are things.
But how often, thoughts are things, how often do you have this thought and you're like, your thought dies before it goes into action because you don't think what you're going to do is going to be meaningful enough. It ain't going to help enough. So saving money, for example, one of the mistakes I was making is I told Van we need to save this amount of money. And then I was over saving because I needed that money. And I felt like, well, this is never going to add up. So we changed it to where now there's roughly about $600 out of each closing that we're saving. And it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but over time it has built up. And then as I continue to do this, I'm going to take that money and then I'm going to be able to multiply it. So at first, you don't have much to multiply. You don't have very much at all whenever, like, what is 2 times 2?
4.
Did you know that? Okay, see, at first, small numbers, small improvements, small successes don't really feel good for you, and you give up and you don't continue to do them. But what is 10 times 10?
100.
Josh is good with his mathematics this morning. So as you save and the numbers get bigger and you continue the momentum, as they get bigger, they become a lot bigger, a lot faster. But I was always one that I had the big thoughts, the big ideas, and I could not follow through with the daily commitments of the small thought. It ain't enough. Why do this? It's almost like if you're a baseball guy, right?
Yeah.
So my thought was always a home run guy. Let's hit the home run. Well, people that ultimately build big things just got on base. Then they moved the guy over to second base, and then they got another guy on base. How often can you continue to be committed to these small thoughts, these small wins? It's so important because momentum also can work against you. Do you understand how it can work against you?
You let it get to your head.
No, if you stop doing anything. If you just stop doing the things, then then it starts working. Momentum works both ways. So I'm going to brag on you and Noah because you guys got in sync. When did y'all really start to wrap up and get things going with the thought? The thought was this: we're going to do this together. We're going to create nurture leads, and we're going to get in front of people, and we're going to sell them something. That was a thought. Where in this list? What was your first action step?
Well, when it first happened was early March, mid-March.
Okay, so that's when y'all made the decision. Was around March? Is that when it was? So mid-March. How many months is that? March. Almost 3 months. But whenever you started this commitment, this idea, you probably didn't have a lot of success by the end of March.
We were talking about it last night. It took about a month and a half.
Of this, see now, are y'all paying attention to what they're doing over here? I mean, it's like they've sold a house every week. How many weeks in a row?
Probably
4, maybe 5.
4, maybe 5.
They've been extremely consistent because of a decision they made for these small. What was y'all's first commitment?
Our goal was just to attack the HOTS, focus on the HOTS, and that was our first goal.
Yep.
We're gonna put them because I was more focused on the warm and cold.
Yep.
He was focused on HOTS.
Okay. See, that's a small thought that you started implementing, and it took a little while, and now it's starting to pay off. The payoffs, unfortunately, they take a little while for them to happen. That's why it's so important to be committed, to continue to fight through things. But you got to trust this law. I'm going to call the law of momentum. If you were to lose, like losing 1 to 2 pounds a week just does not sound very good to me. What would you want to lose if you're fat like me?
5 to 7.
I'd want to lose 5 pounds a week. I'd want to be down 30 pounds. But you've got to understand It's this compound effect that you are really searching for that requires daily small wins. It's about getting yourself in the right momentum. Cameron and Noah are on fire. Wendy Sweeney, how do you do one thing? How you do one thing is how you do all things. Be committed. Yes. Can't read. My contacts are a little blurry. Thank you, Wendy Sweeney. That's all I've got this morning. We're going to get into a team meeting, but just understand this, these little bitty things. You just want to get, I'm going to go play golf today. And like if we're 175 yards out, I probably don't need to hit a club that could get me there. I need to hit a club that's going to get my confidence going. Shut us down, Vingraftin.